Hello, welcome back. It's another tutorial video in making a Pokemon style game in AGS. Um, I want to create a bit of feedback for the player, so when the mouse is over pl players, characters or objects or hotspots, it presents that the name of that object to the player in a little GUI that pops up. So I'm going to create a new GUI. I've already created the artwork for it, so we'll go background image. We'll go to the UI folder and we'll import the little UI that I've made. That'll do. And we'll use that. So I'm just going to set the dimensions up. So height is 30, 170. So the X and Y screen coordinates for it, I'm going to do for the Y position, it will be 170, no, 164. And the left I'll do 64, kind of roughly in the middle. I'll give the GUI a name, a script name, so we'll do G mouse over. Set the visibility to be false and the clickable to be false. We don't want we don't want the mouse to interact with it. Let's create a label. Make sure it's in the center. Give it a name, so we'll just call L mouse over. Like so. So it's very, very easy. AGS already kind of has a system built in for displaying hotspot description names in a label, and it's simply just the @ sign, all caps, over hotspot and @. So it should look like that, and that'll pick up any name. It will display any name that the mouse is over for a hotspot at least. But I don't want this GUI on all the time. I just want it to pop up when the mouse actually goes over something. So if we load up our player room, and I'll just select the hotspot. So that's our exit. So if we click on the lightning bolt and click on mouse moves over hotspot, what I'm going to do here is I'm just going to display the GUI. So G mouse over dot visible equals true. I'm going to go back to the room and I'm going to select hotspot 0, which is no hotspot. Okay, and we'll do the mouse over hotspot here. I'm just going to move this function above that. And I'm going to hide the GUI that we've just set visible equals false. So that will, when the mouse moves away from any other hotspot, it'll become invisible. Also, if I click on this room, this is like we'll be able to see the room's statistics. If we click on the lightning bolt and on the leaves room, I'm going to also make sure that that GUI is also off, just in case for some reason it may be on when we leave the room, and we don't want it set to be on in the next room that we go to. So we will have to do that for every room, sadly. So we're going to go to the starter village. So this is the player's front door. So we'll just do the same again. So G mouse over dot visible equals true. I'm going to switch to the hotspot 0, and we'll just create that. Again, I'm going to it's just for my own weirdness that I like to have that up there, and we'll just do G mouse over dot visible equals false. And likewise, if I click on this room, on the leaves room, event, I'm going to make sure that the GUI is not visible. Okay. So there we have it. So if we run the game, you can see that it pops up now when we move over the GUI, and when we move on to that hotspot 0, it switches off. So we can leave here, and we can got the player's house. We can change that in the description to be something like your house or something. Now, I also want a similar feature to happen, a similar effect to happen when we mouse over characters. And it's a bit fiddly. It's not as easy as that. So I'm gonna go into the room and let's click on a character. Let me switch on characters. So if we go right down to properties and click on edit scheme, I right click, add a property. I'm going to call this NPC name, description. Okay, this can be anything really. The character's name. I'm going to edit that. Sorry. So the value is going to be blank, and it's going to be a text value, and it's only going to be applied to characters. So if we select Dexter, click on the property, we can give him a name, Dexter. Let's click on Mary. Let's add her name. Yeah, you'll probably have to type this in. I don't know why, for some reason it's putting it in for me. It shouldn't be. Henry, make sure he's alright. Yep, okay. So we have this custom text property because there's no easy way of displaying the character's real name in a label. So we have to do it in this weird kind of way. So if we go to our global script and we go to the repeatedly execute, this is where we're going to write our code for the for our little script. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to do character, and it should turn blue. That means it's a pointer. And a pointer, all a pointer is a variable that points to a class in AGS. So it could be a character, or you know, a button, or hotspot, room, and they all have various properties. So we can store that in. This can be anything. This could be anything you like, but I'm just typing ch for character for short. So that equals character dot get at screen xy mouse dot x mouse dot y. So all we're doing there is if the mouse is over an object, a character object, we're storing that that value as true in this little variable called ch. So if ch is not null, so there is a character underneath the mouse, then we're going to create a string variable, NPC. Again, this could be anything that you like. I'm just calling it NPC name because we're just going to store the character's name in there to print. So if ch, so if that equals true, then NPC name equals ch dot get text property. So this is that custom property that we created, and we need the custom property's name, and that was npc name. So what we're doing here is we're going to be storing this whatever text was in the npc name that we wrote, we're going to store it in the npc name string that we just created here. I know it's a bit funny, but there you go. So then we're going to set our gmouseover dot visible equals true. So we're going to show that GUI that we created, and then we're going to have L mouse over, that's the name of the label text that's in that GUI, dot text equals string dot format. So it's a %s, and that means that it's going to be a string that's displayed in that label, and it's a comma, and then it's literally just npc name. So once we've stored that character's name from this custom property into npc name, we're then going to render whatever's stored in here. I know it's a silly way of doing it, but it's probably the best way to do it. So with that done, we need to set the text to be, for instance, if ch equals null. So this is if there is a character underneath the mouse cursor, but we also need to make a statement for if there isn't a character underneath the cursor. Then we just need to do, we can get rid of that. We can just go L mouse over dot text equals, and I'm just going to set it back to at over hotspot at. So that'll make the label work again for hotspots. And fingers crossed, we hit the play button. Get text property if ch. Let me get rid of that, because I don't think we need that anyway. So there we go. So we'll leave the room. So you see, that's because our character is a player. Our player is a character, and we haven't set that custom property yet. So if we go over Dexter, you can see that his name's printed there, Mary, we have Henry, and we can go back and it's working for our hotspots. The easiest way to fix that for the player, because the player doesn't really need to be clickable. So if I load up the player character, we can just set clickable to be false. I think that should fix that. Yeah. So we're not getting this box when it just pops up on the player. So we've got Dexter, we've got Mary, we've got Henry, and we also have it now working for hotspots as well. And that's how you would do that. So it's a nice effect. It helps the player understand what he's pointing at and things. So I think that's a nice little feature. So we'll start working on an array for our Pokémon in the next video. So I shall see you then.